Peace, Infinite Waters diving deep once again. We're in nature, baby. Can I get a hello there? Why bad things happen? Why did that just happen, right? Why? Can somebody please tell me why? We got a great question in from a woman who wrote this. So lots of people are asking, Ralph, where can I send you a question? The best place is the website ralphsmart.com or Instagram me, right? Instagram us at Infinite Waters. Those are the only places I check because we get thousands of questions. It's hard to keep up. So I got a question in from a woman. I recently lost 2 loved ones this holiday and had my car broken into and purse stolen. I have released these things and have accepted the universe's call to let go and continue to move forward with light and love and forgiveness. I suppose I just wanted to ask, when so many bad things happen at once to us, do you believe we attracted such things? That's a powerful question. I looked at that question and said, whoa, that's one for me and the cat down the road. Now, as a psychologist and counselor, I always get these kinds of questions appear in the sessions I do every single day, right? Let me just share with you what's happened to me, right? Because lots of bad stuff happens to me, right? And lots of good stuff happens to me. But actually, no, lots of stuff happens to me. And how I see these things happen, right? How I see these things happening to me is really what determines what they will be, right? So you got to start changing how you look at certain events. Because nothing is good or bad. It's all a matter of perspective. If someone, for example, passes away, right? My grandma passed away back in 2006, and I was going through so much stress with exams, and just like you, everything was happening all at once, right? Cat down the road disappeared. Yeah, it really did disappear this time, right? And lots of things were happening. I wasn't eating the best. So sometimes, that saying, right? When it rains, it pours. When things seem to be happening to us, the most powerful way to behave is to realize that you can't control what is happening to you externally. Let me repeat that. You can't control what is happening to you externally, but you can control how you react to any situation, right? That's always in your hands. I was studying psychology as a young gentleman, right? And take responsibility. That kept appearing in the lectures, right? From really great psychologists. And I was like, why? Why should I take responsibility for something happening? Like your car got broken into. That's definitely not my responsibility. No, it isn't. But how you react is, you see, because you can't change what has just happened. But you can change your perspective, you can change your perception, you can change your attitude to the event that has just taken place. Let's move forward. You see, many times the universe will give us whatever is most helpful for us along our journey in becoming our greatest version. So for example, for me, it's been a whole long and winding road, right? Life is like a roller coaster, and a roller coaster is like this, right? It's like that. It's winding. It's not all smooth sailing. This isn't Dawson's Creek, right? So you got to remind yourself that life is a package. Life is a journey. And in this journey, we are going to get whatever experience is most helpful for our level of consciousness that will help us evolve to the next level. Because many times we forget that what you perceive as bad, someone may perceive as good. Look, your car just got broken into, right? But that could have been a trigger for you to say, okay, maybe I need to be more careful of where I leave my car. So once again, there is a lesson in every experience we have. There is a lesson in whatever we go through, right? So when I saw along my journey, actually, I got to become more grateful, right? And that's a great attitude you took, because when so-called bad things do happen, it is very frustrating. And you got to allow yourself to feel that frustration. There is nothing wrong with feeling angry. Let me repeat that. There is nothing wrong with feeling angry. It's okay. You see, meditation, which will help you in this scenario, is allowing thoughts to come through you without judgment. Because when my bike got stolen, right, twice now, right, that's a lot of money. And I was very angry, very frustrated, and I needed to let that out. But then I needed to put it in perspective to say, wait a minute, actually, I got a whole lot going on for me. You see, when you step into gratitude consciousness, you start to say, actually, bad things aren't just happening to me. So-called bad things, right? Lots of different things are happening to me, but it's a question of where I'm placing my focus. Every day I wake up and say, actually, yes, the world isn't perfect. Lots of mind control, manipulation, but at the same time, life is pretty amazing. You are a miracle. I am a miracle. Can I get a hello there? But you see, it's all about where your focus is. So you've seen that meme, right? One person sitting to the left, one person sitting to the right. To the left, there's sunshine, there's rainbows, and to the right, there's just a really ugly cave, right? But it's all about choosing where you want to sit on the bus. That's the same thing when we think bad things are happening, right? Now, let's go on to, did you attract them? You see, I realized along my journey, and what's helped me out, is that, for instance, I do a lot of skating, a lot of yoga. And I know that when I get very lazy, for instance, if I'm very careless, I'm eating a lot of sometimes junk food or whatever, which is rare. Sometimes it is common though, don't worry about it, right? What happens? It affects every other area of my life, right? When you sometimes have just come out of a heated argument, you might get into the car and have an accident if you're not careful. Because once again, one area, one action affects all other actions and areas. That's why we practice mindfulness meditation. Every day, for instance, if someone says, Ralph, I don't like your videos. Let's just say that, right? Now, am I going to cry about it? Or am I going to say, wait a minute, we've connected with over 43 million people. We've got nearly 500,000 subscribers here. So my focus is always on that, to realize that to go viral through consciousness is very difficult. We've done that, and we're growing larger and larger every single day. We're getting thousands of questions every single day, Infinite Waters, right? So that's where my focus is. That's why we keep it moving. But if I didn't have that level of consciousness, then I might focus on one comment which may not be serving me. But I don't. I focus on the millions of comments that do serve me. That's why I say infinite love and balance. Can I get a hello there? Now, if someone passes away, sometimes we think it's a bad, negative thing. There's an ancient saying that when someone dies, a child is born to make space, right? It's almost like the mathematical equation of life, right? The going and coming. It's an integral part of life, and we have to accept that. That's why the ancient Kemites, the Egyptians, they weren't so obsessed with death. No, they were obsessed with life. That's why the Ankh is a symbol of life, right? But they knew that we were only here for a very, very short period of time. There's a great poet who says, we live in a flash of light. Even if you were to live, like I always say, 1,000,000 years, that's nothing more than a drop in the ocean of eternity. So when you realize that you are here for a very small amount of time, you have to learn how to die every single day. I do it through meditation, through not living so much upstairs, by staying on a high frequency, a high level of consciousness, by becoming mindful of the thoughts I think, by knowing they are going to affect my actions. I once said a long time ago, a lot of deep divers will know this, there are no good or bad people in the universe, right? There are no good or bad people in the universe, only actions and consequences. But yes, of course, there are people who do some pretty foul stuff, but don't worry about them. The universe will take care of them. You've got to realize that we attract what we are. We attract our embodiment. That's a new one. Can I get a hello there? We attract our embodiment. So every day I say, okay, I'm grateful for a lot of things. The more grateful I became, the more abundant I became. True story. The more I focused on the people who were showing me love, the more love came. That's why I don't talk about people who aren't serving me. I make people famous. I will make you famous if I talk about you. But I do talk about amazing people who are doing great things. If I talk about you, I'm going to big you up, but not put you down, you see. So you've got to remind yourself that we attract our embodiment, right? And certain times, you've got to always look for the lesson life is showing you. Sometimes life will test you just to see if you are who you say you are, right? I get tested all the time. It's just that I'm a wizard. I'm an alchemist. What does that mean? It means when the universe gives me a smack, I say, okay, bring it on, universe, but wait for it, because this is training day. That means every day I'm moving in alignment. I'm not taking this for granted because as a wizard, I know how this is going to play out. When you study ancient principles, ancient wisdom, you realize that when things you think are bad happen to you, you got to become silent and then ask yourself, how bad are they? Certain times you hear of these stories, they were late for work, right? They slept in that day. They should have been at work. And guess what? There was a lightning storm. So thank goodness they didn't go to work. So what they thought was bad actually ended up serving them. Can I get a hello there? Right? In a nutshell, ask yourself today, what am I doing to reconnect back into my inner balance and flow? What am I doing to change how I react to what I think is bad? What am I doing to let go of thinking I can control what happens outside of me? Resistance makes stronger. I said in my journal, the moment I let go, everything came to me. And that's how it works. Many times, life can become confusing. Many times, disorientating. That's why it's not what is happening outside of you. That's the problem. It is what is taking place within you that needs to be addressed. It needs to be looked at, right? It needs to be looked at because the inner is the outer. The inner thoughts and feelings become your outer reality. I need to control how other people perceive me. No, you don't. That's none of your business. None of your business at all. How will that serve you? Because sometimes people love you one day, then they hate you. It's got nothing to do with you. Right? If someone passes away, celebrate their life. That's what I did with my grandma, right? And I realized, look, in the next 200 years, everyone that's here right now won't be here, right? Unless they get some kind of life extension. I can live with that because life is a gift. It's part of the deal. We live in a transient universe, though we are immortal. Because you see, what the ancients knew so well is that you can't eat diamonds. You see, we're trying to eat diamonds. You can't. You got to leave it alone. All of the treasure, you can't take it with you. We are the borrowers. When you realize that, you realize all your possessions are on loan. You don't own them. You don't even own your body. It goes back to the earth. And the universe will do whatever the universe wants to do with it. But guess what? You are the universe. Think about it. So once again, change your perspective, your perception of what is happening, and what is happening will change its effect on you. Because things are going to happen. Oh yeah, I see it even in my own journey. See, 2016, although it's the year of unity, is also the year of a lot of purging, A lot of suppressed emotions are going to be coming to the surface. You're going to see people running around naked in the streets going, ah, right? Because they've been burying those emotions for so long. Ask yourself, what are you doing every day to express yourself, to release tension, to get back into inner balance? And then you will see what is happening out there is nothing more than a reflection of what is taking place within your mind. We are breathing in that beautiful prana, baby. Have a beautiful day. Just meditating. Can I get a hello there? Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well. Stay healthy. Peace.